Recorded. All right, so in this segment, we're going to go ahead and review the live view segment of the software. You see now? I'm assuming that you've watched our overview video, but I will still be touching upon some of the things that I covered in there anyways. If you haven't checked that out, you should probably go see that as well, because it does cover just the overall software. So as spoken in the original one, the main thing was stability, speed, and performance. That was the main focus on the software, and we did keep a lot of the elements still the same, like the controls up here or the right-click menu. Or, for example, with fisheye cameras, if you have a fisheye camera, you would just right-click. You would select the way it's mounted, like if it's on the wall, it's on a tabletop, or if it's mounted either actually upside down or, in the proper format. You would select your mode. Otherwise, if you go down to fisheye view, it's going to be grayed out. So you have to make sure you go in here, select your view mode, and then afterwards you can go ahead and I didn't mean to actually start recording. So you can go ahead and go into fisheye view, and then you can go ahead and click your different view styles. Typically, a lot of people do this style where you get the multi-split, and then you can, for each individual box, you adjust it to where you want it to be, whether it's zoomed in and or out, or however you want it. You just place your different segments. For example, I want this one to watch the alleyway, I want this one to watch further over there, and I want this one to watch towards our docks. However you want to do it. That's the fisheye view. So a lot of the functionality still, as people may be familiar with, is similar to the original software. Just the biggest difference was really we changed this segment, making it easier to find the cameras that were actually designed that you want to look at. So you quickly find them through the thumbnail view, and then the stability and speed of loading up cameras. So, for example, let's go ahead and close all video. And then I'm going to select the square. So if I just go ahead, I'm just going to double click the recorder, and I load up all the video. And within a matter of a couple seconds, all the camera feeds loaded up. I can switch over to like a 16 split. I can see more of the cameras. I believe we only have 16 on this. But I can, if I had more, I can do a 64 split. If I had a bigger machine fully loaded. Well, and also please be mindful of your computer's resources, because it does eat up quite a bit of memory and processing power to go ahead and decode all these different video streams and all the data and everything that's happening. But overall, the software does a really good job, and as you see, it's very stable. All the feeds are still live and moving just fine. I'm just going to go back to a 16 split just for the video to make it a little bit easier. Actually, probably maybe even a 4 split, probably a better viewing angle. So besides that, for people that are still used to our software, as I talked in the original overviews, though, I will touch upon that thumbnails will not load for some specialty cameras, specifically the LPR camera in our lineup, and it will not load for third-party cameras. So if you have cameras by other manufacturers added to our recorder, unfortunately, they will not have a thumbnail view. You will need to use IC Realtime cameras if you want to be able to get the thumbnail images. It's just a limitation, just because they don't have the same command that we have built into our cameras, so we can't expect to send that same command to the cameras. Besides that, for people that are typically used to, there's also view groups. You can create a view group. Like, let's say if I wanted to keep these 4 cameras as a one view group, I can go ahead and hit the save button down here at the bottom left, and then you can name it. Just going to call it group 1 just to make it easy for now. You can name it whatever you want. Like if you had 4 cameras on your front patio and you wanted those to group them together, you might call it patio cameras, just to make it easy to quickly play later on. I'm going to also switch over to my 16 split, because I need 2 favorites for now. I'm just going to call this 16. You can literally call it anything you want. It's really up to you. So as you see down here, there's also a couple other buttons. There's a way to create a tour task, which basically is a tour, so it just keeps switching between different views for you. This might be more benefit for somebody monitoring services and things like that. What you can do is click that gear wheel and then it'll take it to this plan. You can hit plus to create a task plan, and then you click here and what it does is it brings up this window. And it's like, okay, well, what kind of split view do you want? You can individually add and specify what cameras would be in every grid. I can be like, I want it to switch between multiple different 16 splits, for example. Or I can go back to this 4 split, and I can go to my view groups instead, And from the default group, that group one that I did earlier, I can just double click that and it'll preload those 4 cameras in there. Down here, it's how long you want that set of cameras to show up on your screen. The minimum amount of time is 5 seconds, and then it'll go to the next group. And I'll demonstrate that in a second. So for now, I'm just going to put 5 seconds, and I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to create a second group. I'm going to use the second view group, the 16, just to make this quickly. And then I'm also going to set this to 5 seconds. And then hit OK. Now I have a tour set up to where it's going to constantly rotate between these two views. So when I hit return, down here now there's a task plan. You can rename this to whatever you want to make it easier. But if I hit play that's right next to it, it's going to load it up. 5 seconds are going to go by. It's going to go to the 16 split instead of staying on this 4 split for you. And and see, now I switched over. It loaded up all the cameras that you had in your split view, and it's going to stream for 5 seconds, and then eventually it'll rotate over as well. And it'll keep doing that for as long as the tour plan is active. You can hit stop at any time to stop it from doing that. I'm going to close all video again. If I had those, if this was my patio or whatever that is, I can just double click it and quickly loads up your camera. That's really what the view groups is for. And then besides that, if you have a PTZ, actually this one's right here, the PTZ. And we got this PTZ control down here. You can quickly go ahead and navigate. As you see, it's pretty quick to respond. So they had to zoom it all the way in on this one. But yeah, you can quickly adjust this depending on where you want to move it to, and that's basically it. You can close video. Obviously, by right clicking, as you see me do it a couple times, you can close all the camera videos. You can do that. You can quickly switch down here. There's going to be predefined like favorite groups, but you can have 3 different favorites. But there are more options. If you click the pencil option, you can come down here and select like a 64 split, or this is a 36 split, etc. So from here, if you wanted to change the favorites, I mean, you can just select over here, and it's gonna like make that your new favorite. If you wanted to save this one as the new favorites instead. So if I click that now, it changed. I have a 36 and I have a 64 split, and I still have the 4 split. I can switch it to where I have all 3 of these: 25, 36, 64, etc. So it's gonna just sit there and switch and rotate through your favorites. So you can do other favorites, for example. You can do a setup like this instead if you want it. And those were all the main functions on the live view. For anybody else that has standard, let's load up a camera real quick. Up here at the top, you have recording. You can live record and save the video clip to your computer. You can take a snapshot. This button will let you listen in to the audio if you have a microphone on the camera or attach the microphone. If you have a speaker as well, you can then do two-way talk. If you click this button, it does the instant replay, and then you will be able to play like the last 5 minutes or so, depending on what you have. You have to go into system settings, and you can modify your instant replay time. The maximum is in the last hour, so I can set it to where the last hour for it to do instant replay. So when I do live view now, if I do stop instant replay right now, but if I click instant replay, right now it's 4, it goes all the way back to the 3. And this starts then you can quickly kind of put it there. Only unfortunate thing is you don't get like thumbnails activity here. You can play back though. That's really it. And then the other one is a digital zoom. You can left click that, left click and drag, and it'll blow up the image so you can take a closer look. A digital zoom is different than a varifocal zoom. Varifocal zoom is you're actually zooming in the camera. Digital zoom, you're just blowing up that image. And that'll come in handy when you have like a 4K camera. Then you can blow it up and get a really nice clear shot. And that is everything to focus on the live view. I can think of. Is there anything else I'm missing? Oh, last thing would be, I don't remember if I showed this, but I believe I did. But you can switch between large thumbnails and small thumbnails, and then you can also hit. This is a refresh button. So if you need to update your thumbnails, it will update. As you see, it updated. Now it has the different view instead of the zoomed in view. That is everything there is to really talk about on the live view. Again, the main thing was stability on this. So now you can go ahead and keep the cameras up and running and not have to worry about it constantly crashing on you. Thank you guys for your time. See you in the next one.